Let's unbox the Ducky One 3 Pro Nazca line edition. Fun fact, the Nazca lines are those geoglyphs etched into the desert sands in South Peru. And this keyboard is kind of a cool blue and orange color, which I guess could be reminiscent of the desert. Taking a look at the front of the box, you can see it has this very sleek black and white design. You've got the Ducky logo, you've got a big Ducky One logo there as well, One 3 Pro. It's kind of a shiny silver material, which is quite nice. And then you've got the fact that it has the new Cherry switches on the front there. Flipping it over onto the back, you have a little bit of information about what model it is, how much it weighs. It looks like it weighs 1.25 kilos, so quite heavy, should be a sturdy keyboard. You got the Quack Mechanics logo, the fact it's a hot-swappable keyboard, and then a QR code where you can go to the Ducky website. You also have the contents in the box, and once again, the fact that it uses the Cherry MX switches. So it looks like you get some extra keycaps. Those are blue and orange to match the overall aesthetic of the keyboard. You of course have your braided cable. It's a black braided cable, a nice one from Ducky, and there's a little tie on there as well. We've got the keycap puller. And that is your switch puller. So obviously hot-swappable keyboard, that's going to come in very handy. There we have the keyboard itself. Really lovely design. I like the unique color scheme with the blue and the orange. Then finally we have the Ducky warranty card. Just tells you about how you can activate your warranty or any issues, where to go. Some Ducky stickers. And that, I believe, is the quick start guide. Yeah, so some very basic instructions on there. And you do have to go to their website if you want to download the full manual. It's pretty much the same as all other Ducky keyboards. So here is the One 3 Pro. As you can see, I have unboxed it and plugged it in just so we can take a look at the RGB lighting, and I'll talk you through all the different features and things, etc. So the look of the keyboard, like I mentioned while I was unboxing it, I think it's a really eye-catching design. The body is this like matte gray color, and then you have these mixture of blue keycaps with white lettering and black keycaps with orange lettering, and then these orange highlight keys. And then you've got all those extra keys in the box as well, those keycaps that you can swap out to add even more orange to the keyboard. I think there was orange arrow keys. You've got the additional Ducky escape key that you can add on the top there. So it's very customizable and very eye-catching. I think if you're looking for a keyboard that's a little bit different, you want to move away from the typical black or white keyboard, this is a really nice design. And I think so far it's the only color that's available in the One 3 Pro. So what are the differences over the original One 3? Essentially, the Pro edition, the main USP to me is the fact that it has this 8K polling rate. So that means it's much faster. Your typical keyboard has a 1000 Hertz polling rate, whereas this one is going to communicate 8 times more frequently with your PC. So that means that when you key press, when you're gaming, or if you're typing really fast or you're coding really fast, every keystroke is going to register much faster with your PC, which obviously is a huge benefit over a typical keyboard. Also, it uses the new Cherry MX2A switches. So these are available in brown, like my keyboard here. You can also get them in red, blue, and silver switches, depending on what switch type you like. They are just like the much loved Cherry MX switch that's been around for years and years now, but these have been improved. So they've got a different internal design. They come pre-lubed. They're much more stable. You don't get that like scratchy feeling. I've tried a few different keyboards with these switches now, and they are a huge improvement over the original Cherry MX. Basically, all the kind of issues people had with them not being that nice to type on out of the box, they've all been fixed. There's no like stem rattle, there's no scratchy feeling. And yeah, a really nice upgrade. This keyboard is also hot swappable as well, so you could actually switch these switches out for a different switch type if you wanted to, like Gateron, Kale, Glorious. There is hundreds of, probably even thousands of different switch types out there to try. And of course, this is still a hot swappable keyboard from Ducky. But I do like these new Cherry MX2A switches. You'll also see as well, hopefully in the top camera, you can see that the LED is self-facing, so the PCB on this keyboard is actually self-facing. That's kind of preferred by keyboard enthusiasts because it's more compatible with different keycap types. And north-facing is probably better for RGB lighting, but south-facing is better for compatibility with low-profile keycaps. So if you're someone that likes to try out different keycaps, I think it's really nice that Ducky have done that on this keyboard. You can see that it's all lit up with RGB lighting. Ducky does do the RGB lighting on the keyboard itself, but you can also now do it in Windows. So Windows has their Windows 11 dynamic lighting feature. So you go to Start, Settings, Personalization, and this keyboard now, the Pro Edition, does actually work with that in Windows. So if you've got other compatible RGB lighting that works with the Windows 11 built-in RGB settings, you can use that with this keyboard, and it kind of negates the fact you don't have to download loads of different RGB softwares for all your different RGB peripherals and motherboard, etc. You can do it within Windows, which is really nice, and this keyboard will work with that. But as you can also do it on the keyboard itself, I can go through a few of the different effects. So it's very easy. It's Function Alt, and then F10, and you can scroll through all the different effects on here. There we go, there's like a rain effect. A lot of these are effects, I think, when you actually type. Oh, and the static white, I really like that one actually. I think we should keep that. And I think you can also do Function Alt like F9, and that will change things like your arrow keys. There we go, the W, S, and D seems to be now breathing. So you can change these, and I think using Function Alt and maybe like F1, F2, F3, F4, etc. All of these different keys affect the RGB lighting in different ways, and you can change the speed with the function and the arrow keys as well. So just read the Ducky manual, basically. It kind of has it all in there. You can download it on their website and go through all the different settings. But I really like this white, and it's quite bright as well. We've obviously got these big studio lights on, and you can still see that really nice white lighting. I'll just hold it up to the camera. No shine through legends though, because they are double shot keycaps, so you don't get the like clear legends. The light doesn't shine through, it shines around the keycaps, but I do quite like that. I think it looks fab. Right, if we turn it over onto the back now, you can see it is like a matte grey body, really nice finish to it. It is an all plastic body, so there's no aluminium on the 1.3 Pro. It's similar to the 1.3, it's just an all plastic body, but it's a solid plastic. You also have these feet, these are in blue. You've got flat on the desk, you can have slightly raised up smaller feet, or you can have all the way up on the higher feet. I quite like to type like that. Apparently it's not great for your wrists. You should have it flat on your desk, it's better for ergonomics. But I do quite like having it raised up. Overall, a really nice looking keyboard. I love the design. I think we should move on now to what it's actually like to type on. Obviously, Ducky uses their quack mechanics, and I think with the 1.3 Pro, they've made some further improvements. Again, they do quite care about how a keyboard feels to type on and what it sounds like to type on as well. So this actually uses the new Webby matte, and it also has some pour-on film inside it as well. So that's meant to kind of get rid of all the nasty noises of your switches or of the keyboard body. It's meant to get rid of like any weird uneven layers. It's meant to kind of even out the sound across the entire length of the keyboard. And this is definitely a nice keyboard to type on. I think we'll do a little sound test now. I think that sounds really good and it feels fantastic. Obviously it's got Cherry MX2A brown switches, and browns are my favorite anyway, and they feel really nice on this keyboard. They're much smoother than the original browns. They definitely do have a, there's a more kind of noticeable bump, but no scratchiness, and they don't have any stem wobble, like you can't really wobble the switches around too much, which I really like. This keyboard also seems to have better stabilizers. Ducky have said they've upgraded the stabilizers over the original 1.3. I think these stabilizers are actually made by Ducky now. They're using their own stabilizer technology, and particularly the spacebar, even though it still has a little bit of rattle, it's a lot better than some of their previous keyboards. So I'd say, yeah, really good work to Ducky kind of improving the acoustics of this keyboard on the 1.3 Pro. So not only do you get better performance, you get better switches, which are also hot swappable, you've got really nice double shot PBT keycaps, you've got that 8K polling rate. You also get a really nice typing experience as well with the new internal layers like the Webby matte and the Pour-On foam. It's an absolutely wonderful keyboard, and you can get it right now at Overclockers UK.